Whether you're buying Jasmy, HBar, XLM, it doesn't matter, but this will destroy 99% of you. And if you fail to understand this, you might as well not bother even trading in crypto. So guys, hit the like button and let's get into some uncomfortable discussion. So I just want to bring your attention to this quote that got left on one of my videos, okay? Nothing personal, I don't really care, leave what you want. This project is super strong and you are paid to shill FUD about Jasmy. Lost all respect for you. This is people's lives and livelihood you are messing with. Which is kind of funny because I don't even think I said anything particularly bad about Jasmy in that video the other day. But this represents something which I've talked about in previous videos that effectively will demolish your ability to make money in crypto. And it's this thing. And we talked about it before, but we're going to go into more depth on it because it's really your only real battle to get over, guys. Confirmation bias is something we believe to be true because maybe we've invested in it, like Jasmy is the best project in the world or Bitcoin or whatever it is. And then if someone tells us something like it's not going to do so well because of this, or we should be careful of this, we instantly discard that as something that we don't want to know and we throw it to the wind. This is a massive problem and you must overcome this. And this picture kind of represents it. You may have seen this before. People love to be told something that may not be true, okay? If we maybe need to go and get in shape at the gym and someone tells us that we need it, then maybe it hurts us more than someone telling us, oh, you look great. Or another side of things, if someone tells us, oh, you're going to make loads of money in this crypto, even though it's maybe not true, then you love to hear that, even though someone else is telling you out there that maybe you should just pay some attention. And I want to draw your attention to this thing. Now, you've probably seen this before if you've been involved in crypto, and it is the fear and greed index. This is the value for today for Bitcoin. Why is a fear and greed index any indication of where we might be on a chart right now? And what does it even mean? Why is it important? Fear and greed is ultimately what the untrained investor feels on a daily basis. And at the moment, you're probably feeling neutral because it's not really moving up or down, so you don't really have any feeling towards it. And this is very, very important because ultimately a chart like this Bitcoin chart simply represents one thing. Well, no, two things. One, obviously, the price. Second thing is the sentiment. And ultimately, you can tell at this point that people probably felt better than they did at this point. No real problem there, right? And at this point, you know, you can probably work out how people felt compared with how they felt here. If you woke up this day and you were suddenly like, oh my God, I'm down like $1,000, $10,000, $100, whatever, and then you woke up the next day and you were up $3,000, you obviously feel much happier up here than you did down here. But these are all terrible things and we must try and escape from this. The emotion within ourselves is the biggest enemy to making money in crypto. It's not what coin you buy, it doesn't really matter. And I'll tell you why it doesn't matter, guys, because even if you're buying the very best crypto project and you're holding, or you think you're going to hold forever, if you can't control your emotions, you're still going to lose everything anyway. It doesn't matter. You could be like, oh, I've been buying Casper and I think Casper's going to make me loads of money. I don't care. Maybe it will, but ultimately, you're going to be in a position at some point where you're going to do something really stupid. For example, the people who are buying here were doing something very stupid. Because although now, you know, they're lucky they've got back to that point, there will come a time when they buy those pumps and then see you later, down 99%. And you're like, no, Casper's the best project of all time. You're wrong because of your confirmation bias, but I know, guys, crypto projects get heavily overinflated because of all this hype and emotion that enters into crypto markets from people who don't really know what they're doing. So, if that's you, then you need to start taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and not acting on impulse. As a trader or someone who trades on a day-to-day basis, Forex, I've been trading for a few years, and crypto as well for a few years, I identified that I am a pretty emotional person, so I must be very control of my emotions. How do I do this? Well, there's a good way to start out. There's a good thing to do, okay? If you're trading crypto, you need to be a grown-up. This money, I know, is important to you. So first of all, we should not be investing more money than we can afford to lose. And I'm serious about that. If you're putting in loads of money and you can't afford to pay your rent and stuff like that, And if you lose your money that you need to, I don't know, look after your parents or whatever it is, guys, then you're really doing the wrong thing. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And if you try and treat it like one, you will get wrecked, 100%. The only way to do this properly is to treat this like some form of like employment or job or whatever. And the only way you can do that is by having rules. So I want you to think, if you're just doing this with like a little bit of pocket change and you don't really care whether you see that money again or not, then you're probably doing the right thing. If you're going to do it where you really, really care about that money, well, you need to start using some trading rules. For example, I will not buy big green candles such as this, because you always get pullbacks. I will only buy pullbacks. It doesn't matter what your trading rules are. They could be, I will only trade at specific times. I will only buy this much into a project. Here's a good one to start with. I won't have more than 15% of my portfolio in any altcoin. And no matter how good you think that altcoin is, I guarantee that there were people in the last bull market who thought Luna was the best altcoin that there was. And look at them now, probably never want to see crypto again. The reason I say altcoin is because you could probably say that Bitcoin or Ethereum, you could have more than 15%. I know Ethereum is an altcoin before you get emotional or right down below, but you see what I mean, guys. The next one would be like something like, I won't buy it on impulse. What do I mean by impulse? Well, let's say this, guys. I was like quite interested in buying Casper when it was down here, but kind of I didn't really think about it. And then suddenly like I didn't really pay attention because it was kind of boring at that time. Nothing was really going on in the markets, which is the most dangerous thing, by the way. You're paying attention when it's down here and going and doing whatever else when it's up here. But actually what people tend to do is like suddenly they get an alert on their phone and then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I missed the move. And then suddenly you're scrambling to get home from work and you try and buy and then you buy like here when really you missed the move. Understand that there will be another time to get into any crypto. And this is probably the best proof of it in Casper right now, because, you know, if you missed out on this move, look, it came back. Yeah, you might have missed out on that move, but it will come back to a pullback time at some point. Now, I'm not going to give you the rules, guys, because they're very personalized. You need to come up with your own rules. The next one that is probably more important than anything, and I see this in my free Telegram, which I recommend you get involved in, is not just taking other people's word, my word, or anyone else's word out there as gospel. No one, and I mean no one, knows exactly what's going to happen. I don't know whether in the next hour Bitcoin could be worth $40,000 or $20,000 or just the same. No one knows, and stop listening to people who tell you for sure that it's going to be that case. Usually I see this from a handful of people. I do see this from time to time in my Telegram group. It's important to take on other people's opinions and pay attention to them, but if they fit into your confirmation bias, then just be careful. I want you to be aware of that confirmation bias because it's going to save you from doing some very silly things. And the more you can control yourself, because you are your own enemy, and that is the only person you have to fight against in crypto, then you're going to be all right. And so I hope that very short little bit of insight into controlling yourself helps. Because, guys, we are emotional beings. We will get pumped into very exciting times and very fearful times at other points. And right now, if you've never been in crypto before, you haven't seen anything, because these pumps and dumps are really pretty tame compared to the like 40-50% pumps you may see, or 200% pumps in one day, followed by a 70% dump the next day. If you can't control yourselves now, then you have no chance later on, okay? You need to work on building up that discipline and forging yourself into just a very calm, collected trader who is going to take this like a grown-up and not blame other people when things go wrong. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, you want to learn more about what's going on in crypto, as well as staying cool and calm when you need to, and hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.